Behind me is the upper part of a very large volcano called Mount Etna. This is located in the eastern part of Sicily in southern Italy. This is a very large volcano. It's over 3,300 meters tall. That's about 11,000 feet. And it has been in a state of almost continuous eruption for thousands of years. In fact, historical records of activity here have been kept now for over 2,500 years. During that time, it's produced about 190 periods of lava flows, and that makes it one of the world's most active volcanoes. Mount Etna is a kind of composite volcano in the sense that the upper part is a more characteristic stratovolcano. It contains lava flows and pumice and ash layers and that sort of thing, whereas the lower part of the volcano takes on the geometry of a shield volcano.
Why is there a huge, very active volcano here in the Mediterranean? While the region is geologically complex, the basic picture is that the African plate is slowly subducting northward beneath the Eurasian plate as the Mediterranean Sea slowly closes. The contact between the two tectonic plates is offset along a transform fault that runs along the eastern edge of Mount Etna. Numerous other faults make eastern Sicily very complex. In 1908, in the city of Messina, an earthquake along one of these faults killed around 100,000 people, making it one of the deadliest earthquakes of the 20th century. Mount Etna formed right in the middle of this intricate tectonic setting. A recent hypothesis also suggests that Mount Etna sits on top of a small young mantle plume, or hotspot.
This small crater is on the south flank of Mount Etna, and it formed in a small eruption in 2002 and 2003. It's a pretty small eruption as Mount Etna type eruptions go. It started out as a basaltic lava flow, and it only flowed about a ½ kilometer down the slope, so it never endangered anyone. There's a lot of these kinds of cones. There's over 260 cones like this sprinkled throughout the flanks of Mount Etna. It doesn't have a name yet, it's just referred to as the new crater, but eventually, if it survives in about 10 years, it'll be given a proper name. That 2002-2003 eruption produced a column of material about 1 kilometer high. It also threw out big bombs like these. They landed up to 700 or 800 meters away from the crater. The town of Catania, though, 30 kilometers away, received about a ½ meter of ash. This location is just southeast of the main crater of Mount Etna. And the feature right in front of me here is called a hornito. This is a kind of a lava spatter chimney. Basaltic lava is erupted out and forms kind of a steep-sided chimney or pipe for itself. These weird shapes and geometries were produced in an eruption between late 2004 and early 2006. At the same time, that volcano was forming. This was a completely unexpected event. There was no advance warning given by Etna that it was about to enter an eruptive cycle that lasted ultimately about 1.5 years.
Mount Etna emits a lot of volcanic gas. In the late 1990s, it averaged about 5,000 tons of sulfur dioxide each day. If you venture close to one of the vents, say inside a young hornito, you'd better stay on your toes.
This is the interior of the hornito, and it's only been about 6 months since this eruption ended, so there is hot gas still coming out of this thing. This is like a sauna right now. It's mostly water vapor, but I can tell there's a little bit of hydrogen sulfide in there.
Right on cue, the vent produced a very minor steam burp, instantly soaking everyone nearby.
We fogged up.
Right as you said sauna.
Yeah.
Active volcanoes produce at least 4 types of seismicity, including one type called volcanic or harmonic tremor. This type commonly occurs just prior to an eruption. You're now listening to a computer music composition created using seismic waves generated by Mount Etna. Through a process called sonification, the seismic waves are converted into audible sounds, or even assigned to musical instruments. Such soundtracks might someday help scientists listen in on volcanoes and figure out what they're up to, deep underground. Another process creates a more energetic kind of music by assigning seismic waves to specific piano keys, potentially allowing geologists to create an entirely new style of, you guessed it, rock music. I'm really sorry about that pun. I mean, I could have just said magma music or earth tones or something like that. It's not totally my fault. Sometimes I get a little bolder and I have to vent, which can bomb, I know, but no sense trying to shield myself now. But yeah, rock music.